What's the band album that introduced you to heavy metal and the one that introduced you to death metal? Okay, the
Yeah, I
band
mean,
you just
yeah,
is
yeah. For heavy metal, I mean, yeah, it would be maybe Black Sabbath, I guess, if you're, when you started hearing bands like Black Sabbath, but maybe traditional. If you're looking, I mean, they were obviously a lot of hard rock going on, and a lot of heavy metal too. But maybe Judas Priest could be considered perhaps maybe the first heavy metal band. Maybe that's a tough one. I gotta really, I was subject to so many bands growing up at that time, and everything happened at once in a matter of like weeks and months. Everything just came together so quickly when you think of what happened in from 1980 to 81 to 82, 83. I mean, geez, so much of it was happening in that in regard of me being like I said, the age I was. So and then metal just starting to come into light a little bit more, so I suppose the traditional heavy metal we know. So that's a tough one. So maybe Judas Priest. Maybe he could have been Screaming for Vengeance. I can't. Iron Maiden, Number of the Beast. Um, that's yeah, that's kind of a tough one. But and then for death metal, I mean, yeah, we were just growing with the scene and starting out, like forming it. I guess we're products of thrash metal. That's why Lombardo and Slayer is our big influence, of course. Like most bands, and then it started getting a little heavier, and you got bands like, of course, I think when Death maybe came out. I mean, it's always been the debate: what's the first death metal record, all that kind of thing. Is it Death? Who's the first death metal band, Death, or is it Possessed? I mean, I would call Death being a little bit more death metal than Possessed were. Possessed, even though they coined the term, they have the song death metal on their record, and all that. I still wouldn't have considered them death metal. I guess they were just more like evil thrash, kind of like how Slayer was or Creator was to us. So I guess when we first heard like Death Scream Bloody Gore, I think that's what we felt was like kind of the modern sound of becomings of death metal, and mostly because of like the vocals being as guttural as they were, the way Chuck sang. So I would have to say, I would have to go with Death Scream Bloody Gore for the first death metal record, I suppose.
Okay.